Welcome back to Factorio Let's Build Edition. Today we're going to be working on the rail blueprints. Now I've got lots of rails already, but what I don't have is I don't have them fixed to be. This is my blueprint book right here called Anchored Rails, and we're going to go in here. We're going to just check out every single one to make sure that they work. So I know the straight ones work. It's only the ones with corners that potentially don't work. And the reason for that, you see, they've redone how the corners work in Factorio, how the rail corners work. It used to be that you get a big long piece that's curved like this, then you get a tiny diagonal piece, and then you get a big long piece that's curved like that, and that completes your 90-degree turn. That is not how it's done anymore. How it's done now is you have this segment, which starts a curve, and then you have this segment, which is just as long, that continues the curve, and there's this segment which continues it further, and then this segment which completes the curve. So it's 90 divided by 4. And what is that? 22.5 degrees or something? So, yeah, it's not at all like it used to be. You can't actually build these. Now, you can copy them and paste them, but you can't build them. Like, look at the difference. This is how it was, and this is how it is now. And this makes it so that it makes it really, really hard to follow existing blueprints. I'll show you what happens when you do. Oops. Let's copy this, and let's delete the curve. Right? So we're going to curve from here to here. Oh, look at that. It doesn't work. Not only is it too far, it's like one up and one over is where it stops. So instead of stopping here, it stops here. So the radius is longer all around. That just makes, I mean, it's better in the new way, but it breaks the ability to manually place down rails in the way that we used to be able to do. It breaks it. Now, as it happens, these rail segments are still in the game. You just can't make them manually. You have to make them with bots and blueprints. That's the only way to do it. Which means that the blueprint book that I have would work with bots. But if I want to do it by hand, which is the early game, it just doesn't work. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to fix all of the curves. So I have to make it go from here to here, right? But it won't work. So I'm going to back up one on either side, and then I'm going to do that. And that's really all there is to it. So now this one is the new format. It's got 4 long segments, or 4 medium segments instead of 2 long and a short. This one right here, this one is even more awkward because this one isn't as tight a corner as this. Right. So if I would delete all of this, I'm going to make a rail from here to here. Guess what? It clips into my power pole. That's no good. So we're going to cut. We're going to cut. You'll notice that now it's the wrong length. So what I have to actually do, yeah, this is very tricky. Let's test something. All right, so these are equal distance. I could go until I get the second corner piece, which is to say, there's the first, there's the second. And then I could do the same thing from this side. There's the first, there's the second. And then I can just join these two with a straight diagonal rail. That's probably the best way to handle it. Yeah, that's the best way. So now it doesn't run into the power pole. And then what I do is I have to copy it into the blueprints as an L turn. 32, 32, -10, -10, snap to grid, absolute. Oh, we got some new graphics. I'm still going to call it L. L turn. Now, if I put it down, like if I put down a straight I, and then I put down a new L turn. Oh, see, it doesn't match. This didn't match. Yeah, okay. This matches this way. Hang on. And this one doesn't. Well, that's very strange. Oh, wait a second. What does this mean for grid position 4400? Okay, I think I got it figured out. For some reason, these say 00, the grid position versus this 00. So, and my new ones were, let's get rid of this one. 2.0. Yeah. So if I go here and then say 0, 0, that should work with 0, 0 here. So I put down a straight I, and then I put down an L. Yep. Okay, that solves it. That solves it. So this makes it super easy to put down rails because they, just watch. See, and they all fit together very nicely. Okay. Time to do the next one, now that I know what I'm doing. T-junction. It's a tricky one, and you don't want to waste game time doing this because, this is just, this one's pretty tight. I've always used this T-junction, but it's not going to work now. If I try to do that, it's going to intersect with that signal. Of course, sure. Yeah, let me. I need to have something to compare to. So we'll put another one here, just so I can compare them. And then I'll just reconnect all the bits. Let's take all the signals off. And then we have to redo. Yep, just like that. Oh, did you see that? Legacy straight rail is in the way. All right, so that sucks because that means that all of these tracks are wrong. All of them. See, this legacy. I have to replace all of the tracks to get rid of all the legacy. All right. So you see over in the description here, it says this one's called straight rail, and this one's called legacy straight rail, which is what we don't want. Now the legacy stuff is gone. Okay. We copy. We make it, get rid of this. Just call it straight. Make it an I. Snap to grid with a 0, 0, and a shift on this one. Save blueprint. Now, we're down in L. There we go. L turn and the letter L. Snap to grid. 0, 0. Save. Oh, come on. No, oh, yeah. No. Something's wrong. 32 by 32. There we go. That's better. Now it's overlapping just fine. 2 down. Oh, All right. So I have to figure out what's the ideal place to curve this now. This is the part that's a little tricky. Like, well, let's just see how narrow I can make the curve first. Okay, that's too close. So we'll try it here. And now it doesn't reach. So what we'll do is we'll go halfway again. And we'll go, that's weird. Oh, here. We'll go one more, and that should reach. So it's 2 straights, and then halfway, and 1 diagonal, then the rest of the curve the rest of the way. And then we just have to see if we can find places for all the signals. So there's 3 chain signals and 6 regular ones. Yep. So that puts it up and divides it up into these blocks, which should match the original. It looks like it does, so that's excellent. Now I just got to make a copy and put it in the blueprints. E-junction. And it's centered on this. Great. So that should work. Look at that. Very nice. That's one of the most important junctions or train blueprints in the entire game. Good. All right. First 3 down. U-turn. So this is tricky. Here, let's just build the U-turn by itself without worrying about how it's lined up. So presumably we'll have to go 2 in like that, and then just loop it all the way around. Because technically this makes a round circle. See, the old ones didn't actually make a good circle, because watch this. It's not really a circle. There's problems with it. It's kind of, it's weird that I can delete and then undo and it works, but you can see it's kind of wibbly wobbly. You know, it's like it curves, then it goes straight for a bit, then it curves and goes straight for a bit. It's not really a round circle. But the new one actually is. It's a perfectly round circle. It's just bigger, slightly bigger. So what we want is we want the this to be just as long or just as wide apart as this. And because of the way the new circle works, you can't just go two out and then start curving in because you end up here. All right, here, let's try this. Center it like that. Ah, that's the secret. I got it. Cool. So what we'll do here is try to put this in the center, and we'll center this on the edge of a chunk. Let's see if it lines up. The next one can go here, on the edge of the corners of this chunk. This is the original blueprint. Did this. Actually, wait. Here we go. So that's the length. That's correct. I think it's centered. I think it is. We're gonna have to connect the green and the red wires as well. Yep. Oh, also there's signals. Let's put those in. Yep. Oh, wait. Hang on. Yeah, it goes right. It goes one beyond. Okay. I'm pretty confident in this. So we'll put that in the new one. And then we'll call it U-turn. Give it the letter U. And then we'll tell it to snap to grid. 32, 32. From here. 0, 0. Save. Now, if I put like a T-junction here, and then a U-turn here. Oh, it doesn't fit. Damn it. The signals aren't lining up. Well, hang on. How did the original do it? Oh, the signals were closer. That's what I did wrong. Here, let's try this again. So that has to go here and then here. All right. So now we test this again. Put a T down. Put a U down. And there it is. Lines up perfectly. Good. 4 down. 4-way. Oh boy. So this 4-way, I had a 4-way and I had a roundabout that I was testing. The 4-way looks like that. And it looks like this because because you didn't get a complete circle. This was the only way to make it compact, but it's a bit strange. Like if you're coming along here and you wanted to take a left turn, you go here. If you want to make a right turn, you go this way. But from this angle, if you want to make a right turn, you go here. But if you want to make a left turn, you actually, no. From here, if you want to make a left turn, you have to go onto this track. No, it's a bit strange. Oh, yes, from here, coming up from the bottom, if you want to make a left turn, you have to get onto this track and then go around like this. But from here, it's not the same. Like if it's not symmetrical. Well, It's weird. It worked, but it's not going to work anymore. Um, oh boy. And then here's the roundabout that I was working on, but I don't know. I might just end up going with roundabouts. That's the only thing I know for sure. Let's just redesign a new four-way. First of all, let's demonstrate if the T junction, if a double T junction does not actually work, because yeah, it doesn't work. It's too tight with the signals, right? So what we got to do, if we're going to go with a roundabout, first we have to make a circle. And there's a circle. So we put the circle in the center, like that. And then we take this one and we bring it. See, yeah. So like that. That's not bad. We just basically copy and paste it. Like that, right? I mean, that is perfectly symmetrical. It's not bad. It's not bad. I I don't know what to think of this. I mean, technically you can make a, if you wanted to make, see, here's the real trick. Well, first of all, you got to put signals in, right? So you got to make sure that that trains, because right now it's all one block. Where do you even put the signals? Here, where did I put them in the roundabout? Oh, I don't even know if that works. I honestly don't. These chain signals are tricky. The whole center is chain signals. Because the T junction, does things like it'll stop a train here if there's any train on this block, which is this purple block here, which you want to do. And this will stop a train if there's in the same, it'll stop it here though. It won't stop it here because it'll block the intersection. It'll stop it here if this one is occupied. So the chain signals make you keep your train from blocking the common area, which is the center. Yeah, and this whole thing makes sense. But what if we did that here? So if I have, let's just say that I do that, right? So I stop a train here in the event that if there's a train here or anywhere else in this, oh, this is hard. This is pretty hard, I have to admit. But we don't, so like, maybe I should put some trains in just to just get this in my mind. Yeah. We don't want this train stopping, if it's coming from this direction, we don't want this train stopping here if there's a train in this spot. We want it stopping here. So chain signal here. In here. So if there's a train here, and this train is coming from this way. We want this signal tells it to stop, but we don't want it blocking the intersection. So we chain it back here, and it stops here instead. That's good. So what if we replace all of these guys with chain signals, but we keep these ones on the sides, right? So now, if the train is already in this, this train's coming through, and this one's already been in. It's coming around. What it's going to do is it's going to stop here. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's going to keep going, and it's going to stop right here. Let's see, this one's green. This one's red. So it stops here. And so it would block the roundabout until this one's through, which, I mean, if this one's turning left and it's right here, this one's going to stop here. So out of curiosity, I didn't actually have these guys in. No. Here, what we got to do, we got to try another scenario. This time we're going to duplicate the chain signals. This is tricky. Well, it's not perfectly the same, but I think that's the same. Effectively. Yep. Okay, so now we just have to try the train out. So let's just try a little experiment here. So here's a train signal. It's green. If I put the train here, it's red because this tells the train to stop. It stops here at the signal because there's a train in front. You don't want to run into it. So that stops here. However, if you put a chain signal behind a regular signal, this will say red, and which tells it to stop here when there's a train here. If and the train can be in either place. Either place, it will stop here. That's right. Now, there is a scenario where it causes them to turn blue like this, and I'm not sure what that means. Check something. In Factorio, a blue chain signal indicates that a train cannot proceed because the next block is occupied by the path beyond it is blocked. The signal preventing the blue and red states of the chain signal in Factorio provide different information to the train waiting at the signal. Blue chain signal indicates that the signal itself is clear, but there's no guaranteed clear path through the next segments due to the downstream blocks being occupied. It signals caution to the train, effectively allowing it to proceed only if the path clears by the time it reaches the next signal. This blue state typically appears when multiple paths are beyond, oh, I see, are possible beyond the chain signal. Okay, let's try that. Like this. So if you put it here, it's red. But if it's if we put a train here, it's still red. How can I get it to become blue? Okay, now it's blue. Now it's blue. Maybe the length doesn't matter. So blue means it's okay to go through as long as you're going to the path that's green. But if you're going, oh, this is me learning something about Factorio, a game which I have thousands of hours in. So green means you can go through because all paths are green. This path is green. This path is green. Let's tighten this up a bit. Both paths are green. All right. If a train is in one of these, it's going to make this one red and this one blue, which allows the train to go through here to the green signal. But if the train intends to go through this signal that is red, the new train will stop right there. It'll stop right there. That's significant. I never knew that. It's pretty smart. It's pretty smart. Because now watch what happens if I put a train on both. Now it's red. Because there's no valid path for any of them. So if I go this way and then put a yet another signal here, notice that it's still red. That's because this is on this side. But if I put it here, it's still blue. It's only red if all paths are blocked. So it's effectively red. Blue is like it's red or green depending on where your train is going. Good. So how does that translate to this? Train is here. This is blue because we have a valid path to get out. So it lets it through. But if you're intending to go here, obviously it's going to stop. Will it stop here or will it stop here? It might actually stop here because the next train behind it. I have an idea. All right, here, let's get rid of this. This is garbage. And what we'll do is we'll put a train stop here. Oops. This train stop is called A. We're going to put some fuel in it. Give me some coal. Coal. That's not what I wanted. I wanted actual coal. All right, fine. Infinity chest. Coal. Thank you. So this has got fuel. I'm going to tell it to go to A. And then I want to see where it stops. Oh. Okay, so it stops here. Oh, that's nice. So what have we learned? We've learned, I think all 100% chains is probably the way to go. Now watch what happens here. Can I actually, I can't actually drive these in lab mode, fortunately. So what I'll do is I'll just put a bunch of trains down on the signal to kind of simulate. So we'll put the fuel back in. And we'll tell it to go to A. It stops here because the chain signal is red. If I remove this train, that chain signal becomes blue because why? Oh, because you know why. I know why. I call this one B, and it's going to A, and it's blocked. Oh, you can see the colors. You can see the colors, right? So this is blue, and the reason it's blue is because some of the signals on the way to A are red. Well, at least up to here. But if I was to go to B, it's green. So let's change the destination. B. We'll go to B instead. Now it goes to B. So it goes to B even though there's a train in the roundabout, which is exactly what we want. Now, let's try C. Okay, so this train, we want to go to C. And it's going to stop here because the path to C goes through a train that's in the way. So it stops outside of the roundabout. And this means that if I actually had a train here and we grab some more coal, I had a train here and I said, I want to go to B, which is this one. Will it go? And the answer is that no, because it's out of fuel. There we go. So now it's got fuel. And we're going to tell it to go to B. And it goes. See, it goes because the path is clear through the roundabout, even though there's trains all over the place. Oh, this is nice. This is really nice. So now watch what happens when I remove this train. So as soon as the path to C got clear, the train took off, even though this is here. And then, of course, if this really wanted to go to A all along, it's going to stop here. It's just going to stop here because this is in the way and it wants to stay out of the roundabout so that it's not blocking. And even if I wanted to go to B at this point, it's not going to because there's already a train at B. Now, if I gave it another train signal here, watch what happens. See, it comes to this signal because there's not a chain. That's amazing. You're at station A. As soon as I remove this train, off it goes. Oh, man. All right, so good stuff all around. I think it actually works. Does it tile? So I'm rotating it and you can see that it's symmetrical. Nothing even changes. Almost nothing changes except the orientation of a few things. But yeah. So that means it's tileable. So what we do now is we put it in the blueprints under four-way, roundabout. I'll just put roundabout. Give it an O symbol. Call it roundabout. Snap to grid, 32, 32. And right there. Save blueprint. And there they are. Very nice. Very, very nice. And you know what? If you really, really want to get, I hate to say this, but there's almost a better way to do the T's and L's. And I'll explain why. This is a T-junction. And if I put the T-junction down versus this T-junction, see, this T-junction is a bit more compact than this, obviously. It's got a big old circle in it, and this doesn't. The reason why we might want to go with this kind is because if we go with this kind, and later we decide, hey, I also want it to branch off in this direction. How do you do that? You can't copy it and paste over it. That doesn't work. See all this crap in the middle that doesn't line up? Or for that matter, let's say we put an L down. We want it to go this way. Well, that doesn't technically overlap anything, but it doesn't let you through this way from here to here. There's no path, and there's no signals either. Um, I mean, technically, I mean that looks pretty cool and all, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work because there's no way to go straight through it. That's the problem. There's no straight path. Whereas over here, if you want to go straight, you just go this way and then leave the roundabout here. And I guess this is why roundabouts are used so many places in the world in traffic, real life traffic, because they actually work even though they're annoying to drive in. I know from personal experience. But see, this T is pretty interesting because what happens now is if I decide that I want to add that fourth branch, all I have to do literally is this. And now it's a roundabout with 4 directions. It's hard to argue with that. I think I'm gonna have an optional. With the letter T, junction mark 2, roundabout. Let's see how much space that takes up in the description. Oh, well, good. We have 2 lines of description. That's good. T junction roundabout. And I also have to snap to grid 32, 32, 0. Here, save. It's not bad. It's not bad. So what we do next is if we want to make an L, we just get rid of all this. Now, I could take out some of these chain signals as well. You know what? Technically, it makes a good U-turn as well. Oh boy, how does my U-turn fit into here? It matches. It matches. So there's no point in this one, this one, this one, this one. Let's just try these in the game. I got to admit, these might be better. I'm going to have to see how the trains behave because my T-junctions are pretty quick. The trains can just blow right through them real fast. But the T-junction roundabout, it's going to have to make a corner, a curvy. If it's going straight through, it's going to have to make kind of a swerve, And also, I don't know how the game handles the routing on roundabouts. It might just back in the day in early Factorio, I remember there being something said about using roundabouts everywhere, slowing routing down because there's multiple paths that it can take or something. Whereas if you make everything a T-junction, the old style T-junction, that would technically be better because it routes better. I'm not so sure now, but I'm going to include them. I'm going to include these and try them out in the game. If they give me troubles, I'll just use these because these work. We have diagonals. These are hard. So the way this works, we have 5 electric poles, and they're on the chunk center and the chunk corners. And then we have the tracks, which are this far apart, and they have a signal on either side. for two of them. So the question is that a good distance? Yeah, yeah. You can see why they don't even line up. They don't even line up. We'll put a signal. Oh, wow. So that actually lines up differently. And maybe I should put it here, because I can't put it here. All right. See, I can't get this any closer, or it hits the pole on either side. So this is as tight as I can get it around the pole. Mm. It's funny because it looks closer to the pole on this side than it does on this side, but yeah, you can't get it any closer. Okay, okay. So I think that's my new diagonal blueprint. Let's check something. It's the center. It's just called diagonal. All right. So we'll make a copy of it. Snap to grid. 32 by 3200, and then center there. Save. This is going to make me hate cliffs even more. You realize that? Because it used to be that I could snake my L turn in a pretty tight space, but these new L turns take up a lot more space. So it's going to be more difficult to weave it through tight cliffs. But you know, whatever. I hate cliffs. I'm never playing with them again after the current playthrough is done. So there's diagonal, and then there's diagonal end 1 and end 2. These are different. I can show you why, because it's a little hard to explain off the bat. See, here's the 1, and here's the 2. See, they aren't the same. It's like a mirror image. And since you can't, blueprint with rail signal cannot be flipped. That's just the way it is. So that's why I had to have 2. Because if I want to connect, see, you would never connect one of these except for right there. So you can see this is where they connect, or right here. So if I want to delete this, and then I want to use diagonal ones, I can stick a 1 here, and another 1 here, and another 1 here, like that, see? And they more or less just keep going straight. So these are all 1s. But if I take a 2 and put it here, you see what it's done. And 2s together also go straight. Like that, see? But in a different way. So if I take a 1 and a 2, they do this. And then if I do a 1 again, and then a 2, you can see what's happening here. There's a 1, a 2, a 1, and a 2. Ta-da! Now we have a rail that's octagon shaped, sort of. It's not symmetrical. It's not pretty, but the reason for that is because I had to find a way to get the power poles on the chunk centers, and that does not form an octagon, a perfect octagon, sadly. And the reason is because the length of distance from here to here is longer than from here to here. That's why it looks so stupid. And there's no way to make this length the same as this length because, the distance from this pole to this pole is not the same as from this pole to this pole. It's just the way it is. So it gives you a warning if you're going to undo something from a while back. That's cool. So now I have to figure out how to replicate this with the new blueprints. Tricky. I mean, look at how off that is. It's just, and this is in the center vertically with this, but it's just lucky to have it work at all. So I'll just take it. Okay. Where's the center? The center's here on the corner, of course. E1. So it's like the end of your diagonal section and before you start going horizontal and vertical again. Snap to grid. Give it a 32 by 32, 0, 0, and then here. Now we take the other one. There, that actually lines up. And then lines up. There we go. Copy the blueprint. Save it here, and then we'll call it D diagonal in 2. Snap to grid 32, 32, 0, 0. There. I think that's everything. So we just delete. And then we test it. Diagonal 1. And it looks like it lines up. And that looks like it lines up. So one ends line with each other. Diagonal 2s. Those line up. And those line up. And 2s do not. Legacy. How did I not delete? Oh, crap. Which one has the legacy? Oh, really? So I did. These are new. And then these are straight. These are legacy. Gotta get rid of them. There we go. Straight rail. Straight rail. Okay. Let's try this again. Rid of this. And delete. Then paste down from blueprint, diagonal end 1. And it lines up with 2 in both directions. Good. Well, I declare those done. Well, 7 chunk block. Those are important because I can't just put a whole bunch of straights down. There's far too many rail signals. So what we'll do is we'll just get rid of the legacy track and we'll put down a straight rail. Gotcha. 7 chunk block. Crossing. So this is a circuit trick that allows you to set up a railroad crossing that won't kill you. So if you have trains that are going by all the time and they're fast and um, yeah, and and just stepping onto the track is likely to get you killed. What this will allow you to do is to approach this gate, and it will raise these gates, and it will lower all these gates, and then you can walk through it. And it'll stop all the trains for you until you're through. And as soon as these one rises again, these will lower, and the trains will keep going. It's pretty cool, but I'm just going to have to get rid of the legacy tracks in it. This should do it. Crossing. Where was it anchored? Oh, this pole, of course. So blueprint, save. And of course, we also have two that I use quite often, which are the rail tap and the J loopback. So rail tap is basically a way to get a train on and off of a straight line. So assume you have a straight line, and it's a lot wider than it used to be. My rail taps were very tight, but radius is more and all that. So this is where they come together. Then pick the same spot below it, like that. Put a chain signal on either side of the bottom, like so. And then as soon as they come together, oops, then we put a chain signal on this one, as well as that one. Then a regular signal here and here. And that looks like it matches. So a bit wider, not any thicker though. So that's cool. It's just two tracks wider and one track wider on either side. That's all. So that's just called rail tap, and that's not snapped to grid. That's very important. Cool. So the purpose of the rail tap is to be able to get a single train in and out of a main line. So it taps the main line, and it allows the trains to come in and out of it, but only one, because your signal is your track is going to go here like this, and it's going to snake around and do whatever, and it's going to go to your mine site, and your mining takes place. It loads up the train leaves, and the whole point is it's not being on the grid, so you just stick it wherever it fits. The other one that I want to do is my J loop pack. So what this is, this doesn't have any signals, so it can be flipped. So it's kind of a J, but the way it works is you put it down. Well, you put your track down first. Let's. I want to. What we'll do is we'll just recreate it from scratch, right? So here's the end of the line, and we go to make it. We want to begin the J. We want to do a half circle, and we want to go straight. We turn it until we get the diagonal, and then we keep going diagonal straight. And then we want to merge it. We got a few more diagonals. We want to merge it with that line. So we're going to bring that down like that. And then we erase everything to the left of the curve, like that. And there it is. That's the J. So this is going to be a slightly bigger one, a slightly different shape than the old one. But we'll copy it, and we'll make a blueprint, and we'll give it a J. And I'll show you how those work. So let's just say that you've rail tapped, right? And you're going to mine sites, you know, and then you got a bunch of ore right here and miners that are digging it up. So what you want is you want your train stop. You want your train to stop, you know, like somewhere. Your train stops somewhere. So there's your train stop. So the whole idea of the J loopback is so that you can just pick it like this, flip it however you need to, and then you just slide it in like so. And now this loops back tightly onto the same track that the train entered in. That's it. That's all it's about. So now that's done. So I have more books, but wait. I have a few strange ones. Waiting yards. Loading and unloading. 2-car yard. Books. 2-car yard bay. 4-car yard hooks. 4-car yard bay. I'm going to need these. I am. That's waiting yards. This one, this waiting yard here, what's the difference? Oh, I was experimenting with resupply. These are refills, but hey, we have interrupts. You have interrupts now in Factorio, so we don't have to worry about making sure that at every stop there's a refueling station. Yeah, it looked like this. So I could just plop this down on a main line and it would create a depot. It's a waiting yard. I'm not going to worry about that. Rail supply network. Receiver stop. Sender stop. Okay, this use for the mod train supply network. This was called TSN. Train supplier mod. I can't remember. Whatever it was an elaborate mod that allowed you to queue, you know, to request trains at certain stops. And it's completely obsolete now that we have the new train system in vanilla Factorio. So I'm not even gonna worry about these. So don't need that. Loading and unloading. Loading bay entry. It's not mine. That's pauses. Left depot in out. I do want this one. And it's just going to match the width of the depot. Right in and out. Loaders. Oh, wow. Because, yeah, this is, yeah, loaders is a mod. It's not going to work in vanilla. Unloaders. Yeah. So really, I'm going to have to do something with depots. But I don't know what to do with them because these won't work in vanilla. I'm going to have to come up with an entirely new system for setting up loaders and unloaders and as tightly as possible. So we'll do that when the time comes. Not going to worry about it now. Push rail. I remember this. This was a long time ago. This is basically, we were playing Factorio with biters, extremely aggressive, very dangerous. So I would have this blueprint ready and I'd put it down and the bots would lay it down. Lasers would immediately clear the area. And that would push that segment of track in because it was actually too dangerous to just lay track into the open. So this is push rail. Who knows if I'll ever need that again. But I do think Anchored Rails 2.0 is probably good enough for now. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. All right, so that's it for this episode of Factorio Let's Design Blueprints. So I hope you enjoyed. For those geeks of you who are interested in design work, I'm not going to worry about episode length, obviously, for these because you're here, you're in it for the content, not for the timeliness. So, anyways, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.